love this stuff. So, not too long ago, I decided I was no longer going to write my meditations. I was just going to ask Spirit to channel it through me. So I had no idea he was going to be singing that when, when I said what I said this morning. So it's just amazing when we open up, right, and we let Spirit work through us. We go within and we seek the kingdom and ask for guidance. So we're going to talk about metaphysics a little bit. What is metaphysics? I'm going to read the definition. It is a philosophy that studies the fundamental nature of reality and existence. Metaphysics goes beyond the physical world we can observe and tries to understand the underlying principles that make reality what it is. So one of the questions that it asks and answers is, what is the relationship between mind and matter? Unity tools help us prove the relationship between mind and matter, at least the way we see it, at least the way Charles Fillmore saw it. Charles Fillmore said, thoughts held in mind produced after their kind. And that's very similar to Galatians that said, whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Right? Whatever we put in our minds is what's going to grow and what's going to manifest. Now, Myrtle Fillmore, back in the 1800s, for those of you who don't know, Myrtle Fillmore was the co-founder of Unity, and she was diagnosed with tuberculosis, and back then that was a death sentence. And her doctor told her to go home and get her things in order, and she was like, I got 3 kids. That's what I got to get in order, she said. And she went to see a gentleman called E.B. Weeks. And what she heard E.B. Weeks say was, as a child of God, we do not inherit sickness. And she took that and she ran with it. And she just did one denial, which was, I no longer am going to allow the power of what appears to be in my body control me. I am whole and healthy as a child of God. I do not inherit sickness. And within 2 years, she had no symptoms of tuberculosis. Miracle. So it was one of the first things that made her realize how powerful prayer was. And that's how she started the ministry, was through prayer. She knew that there were going to be people that were not going to leave their church on Sunday morning, so she would have prayer meetings at night. And they would come and pray with her. And then she created something called Silent Unity. And back then, it was all done in letters. People would write her letters, and they would write. She had this team of people that would write letters back. Today, Silent Unity is on the phone. You can call them, and they pray with you. But at Unity, we have a specific 5-step process of prayer. And our prayers are not beseeching God for anything. Our prayer believes that it's changing us. It's not changing God. God already knows what we need. And God has already given it, actually. We just have to get in alignment so we see it. And that's what prayer does. Prayer helps us get into alignment. So the Unity way of praying is, the 5 steps are preparation, relaxation, concentration, meditation, and appreciation. So preparation is becoming willing and open. True prayer is communion with God, not asking from separation, but aligning with the presence that's already within us. But before we begin, we have to release any of those thoughts, let go of any striving, any needing, any emotional clutter. Because we cannot feel the presence of God while clinging to the noise of the world, the noise that's going on in our head. As taught in the Bible, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle. Now that's not about wealth, but about being so filled with the material world, with the material thoughts, that there's no room for spirit. So it's about letting go. Preparing is the emptying so that we can be filled with spirit. The second step is relaxation. You're entering the stillness. We breathe. We relax the body. We soften the mind, because a tense body cannot receive peace. A racing mind cannot hear guidance. Relaxation is the doorway. It tells the whole system it is safe to receive. This is where we let go so we can let God, right? We have a 12-step program. That's one of their slogans, let go and let God. And we have to do that because life on life's terms is in our face all the time. Stuff that we don't necessarily like, stuff that we want to control, that we have no control over. So we have to let go and let God. Then we have concentration, and the concentration is choosing one holy thought over whatever the situation is, over whatever the person is, one holy thought, and the thought is focused on the truth. Instead of letting the mind scatter in 100 directions, we choose one truth. As in the commandment from the Bible, thou shalt have no other gods before me. In prayer, other gods are the distractions, fear, doubt, worry. So we take a single holy thought. I am guided. I am whole. God is my source. We can look at the first two unity principles, which are God is in everything, everywhere, and is all-powerful. And the second one is, if God is in everything and everywhere, then God is in me, right? So we take that and we know that truth while we're in the prayer. And again, we hold it, we repeat it, we feel it. And it's not to change God, but to transform ourselves into a state that can receive what is already here. Then we go into the meditation or silence and realization. We move beyond the words. We move into silence. This is where our prayer shifts from speaking to listening. In Psalm 46:10, be still and know that I am God. In this stillness, something deeper happens. Not intellectual understanding, but realization. We reach the consciousness of God, the Christ consciousness that lives within each and every one of us. We don't just think the truth, we know the truth. When we enter into the inner chamber of wordless silence, there is no pressure to achieve anything. Now the challenge about this is we got to let go of the masks of being human, of the human consciousness, to know oneself at the point of God expressing to us. I don't know about you, but that's the hard part. It's like, I've always put God up on a pedestal, right? I've only been learning that God's here for 14 years. So I still haven't gotten it yet, but I get closer and closer every day. I remember sooner and sooner every time I pray. And then the last step is appreciation. Give thanks for answered prayer because it is done. We've asked and it is given always. We're not hoping that it will happen, but knowing that it is already done. And gratitude is the act of faith made visible. It says, I trust, I receive, I accept. Because in spiritual law, what we accept in consciousness must express in our lives. Is why after someone prays with us, we don't a day or two or a week later ask, how's it going? We know it's done. If we're asking how it's going, we've doubted that and we've interrupted that process for that person. So we just know that it's done and we let it be. Now, if they come back and want to pray about it again, that's great. But it's not, as the prayer person, we don't ask how it's going. In his book, Practical Metaphysics, Eric Butterworth says, our great need is to turn to a life-affirming consciousness. And that's what the class is going to be using, is his book called Practical Metaphysics. In Romans 12:2, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's what prayer is. It's the renewing of our mind, because God can only do for us what can be done through us. And prayer is getting through us. Our prayers can only be answered by changing our consciousness. And we are the only ones that can do that. Now, I mentioned the 5 principles. So we've got prayer as a way to help us with our metaphysical process. And then we've got principle 3, which is recreate our experience by the activity of our thinking. And Maria spoke about that in her opening prayer. And principle 4 is prayer is creative thinking using denials and affirmations. The power is not in our words. It is in the life-affirming attitude that comes from the use of the words. And that attitude comes from being still and knowing that we are God. The more we say that, the more we get it. And there will be moments of remembering it when we really need it. And there'll be moments of forgetting it. And we come back to it. And we call for prayer. Or we pick up a book and say, I need help. But once we are still, we can listen to the words that are coming from that place inside us. That is God. They are not our words. And then principle 5 is, knowing all of this is not enough. We must live the truth we know. We must live these principles. So how are you using these concepts? Are you using them consciously or unconsciously? Or using them at all? I know you're using them. It's just whether or not you're aware, you're mindful of using them. So one of the things that gets in the way of answered prayer is our ability to receive, to not push, to not struggle, not to prove, but simply to open our hands, our hearts, and our whole being and say, yes, I am ready. We pray and we use denials and affirmations, but are we really ready to receive? Are we really open to receive all the good that is ours? Because God always says yes. We have to say yes to God's yes. So for many people, receiving feels very unfamiliar, maybe even uncomfortable. But we've been taught to give endlessly, to work endlessly, to strive endlessly, but rarely to pause and allow. And yet, life is always offering. The sun offers light, the trees offer oxygen, the earth offers nourishment, and love is always present, like the very air that we breathe. So the question isn't, is there good in the world? The real question is, are you open to receiving it? Are you open to seeing it? This is the power of openness. When we open our heart, we create space within that says, I trust life. I trust that I am supported. I trust that good is my natural state. And the moment we create that space, life rushes in to fill it. And that's what prayer does. It opens us to the good that's always there. It's like opening the curtains in a dark room, right? The sunlight is always there, but only when we open the curtains does the light flood the room. In the same way, goodness has always been waiting. Our willingness to open is what allows it in. Hopefully, it is prayer that is shifting us in our consciousness to allow and to receive it. Let's begin with a simple affirmation. I'm going to say it once and then let's say it all together. I am open and receptive to all good. I am open and receptive to all good. One more time. I am open and receptive to all good. And last time. I am open and receptive to all good. What does that feel like in your body? Do you feel the shift? Did your shoulders soften? Did your breath deepen? Does your heart open? Affirmations are not just words. They are signals. They're frequencies. They are declarations of alignment. What you consistently affirm, you begin to embody. And what you embody, you begin to attract. So the question becomes, what are you affirming, consciously or unconsciously? Are you affirming lack or love? Fear or faith? Scarcity or abundance? And this isn't a guilt trip. It's about becoming aware. It's about being mindful. Because once we're aware, we can choose differently. We can make a different choice. We can all begin again right now. Each morning, before you get out of bed, place your hand on your heart and say, today I am receptive to all good. Today I welcome love. Today I welcome abundance. Today I welcome health. Let these be the first seeds that you plant, because our thoughts and words are seeds and our mind is the soil. Our mind does not judge. It simply grows what's planted. So choose wisely. Now, being open doesn't mean being passive. It means participating in life with trust. It means saying yes to opportunities. It means receiving compliments without deflecting them. It means allowing support instead of pushing it away. Because the truth is, we are worthy. Openness is simply claiming what has always been ours. When we live this way, something beautiful happens. Our energy becomes contagious. We remind others that they too can be open. And that's how healing spreads. If openness is the invitation, then releasing resistance is the doorway. Because sometimes the real issue isn't what we lack, it's what we're unconsciously pushing away. So know that you are guided, that you are supported, and that you are protected. I am willing to release resistance, and I am open to all good. Let's say that. I am willing to release resistance, and I am open to all good. Again, I am willing to release resistance. I am open to all good. One last time. I am willing to release resistance. I am open to all good. Great. Life is always working with you and for you. Even closed doors or delays can be forms of protection. I used to say this a lot. Rejection is always God's protection. I did that a lot when I was dating. And I would be rejected. I had to say something to myself about it. God's protecting you from something. When we trust this, something shifts. We stop clenching. We begin to flow. And that's where miracles enter. And miracles aren't always dramatic events. They are subtle shifts, a moment of peace, an unexpected solution, the feeling of being held or being seen or being heard. Miracles don't need force, they need space. They cannot land in a clenched hand like guidance cannot be heard in a chatty mind or a closed heart. To experience and see miracles, we soften, we trust, we open, and we give thanks. Gratitude is what allows miracles to take root. Each night reflect on 5 things that you're grateful for. Train your mind to notice the good, because what we focus on grows. Miracles and gratitude are sisters. One cannot be without the other. Gratitude is the ground in which miracles root and grow. Without gratitude, miracles pass without being noticed. With gratitude, even the smallest blessings become luminous. The blessing of taking another breath. You know that well this week, right, Doug? The blessing of not only being able to see, but have eyes to see. To be able to see color, to be able to hear, to be able to sweat. There are people out there that can't sweat. They have problems. You know, I mean, there's so many little things that we could be grateful for. Gratitude is not complicated. It's a breath, a whisper, a simple turning of the heart toward thanks. Now, there may be times that you may think, how can I be grateful in this situation? Or how can I be grateful when life feels so heavy? I was having this conversation with Maria earlier. A situation in our lives that feels so heavy, but yet there's so much around it that to be grateful for. We wouldn't even know about it. It could be really disastrous, but we know ahead of time of things that we could potentially do. So gratitude is never about denying pain. Gratitude is about choosing to notice what supports you even in the midst of pain. The strength of your breath, the ground that carries you, the kindness of someone's smile, your friends. There's so much. Gratitude does not erase difficulty, but it softens it. It wraps it in a larger perspective. It says, yes, this hurts, but yes, I am still blessed. When we practice gratitude daily, we train our minds to look for the good. At first, it feels like lifting a weight we haven't touched for years. It may feel awkward, it may feel forced, it may feel heavy. But with each repetition, our mind grows stronger and more flexible. Gratitude has a way of expanding time and deepening joy. Think about the difference between gulping down a meal versus savoring every bite, thanking the earth, thanking the people who prepared it, thanking yourself for being able to buy it or even get yourself there, thanking your body for being able to receive it and digest it. Same food, just a different experience. Gratitude transforms ordinary moments into holy ones. Our feelings are based on our thoughts. They change energy. Fear constricts, anger hardens, but gratitude opens. Gratitude relaxes. Gratitude tells life, I see your gifts. I honor your gifts. I am ready for more. And life answers, yes, here you are. Here's more of what you're grateful for. Our thoughts create our things. What we focus on grows. If we focus on lack, scarcity grows. If we focus on blessings, blessings multiply. When we release control, we allow space, and in that space, miracles flow. When we meet those miracles with gratitude, we invite more. It becomes a cycle, a rhythm, a dance. We open, we receive, we give thanks, we open again. This is prosperity. This is healing. This is joy. Every time you create gratitude, you are creating a new vibration, which will bring more things that are of that same vibration for you. And it's not too late. Start today. Noticing is the first step to healing. Opening moves you towards life. Closing makes you small and separate. We are learning and growing. Don't rush to judge yourself. We are here to practice, not be perfect. Every word is an affirmation. Every word is a declaration. Life is always listening and echoing back what we're saying. If we don't like what we're seeing in our life, think about what you're saying. Become conscious of what you're saying. One of Jesus' teachings is, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. It is also the basic premise for practical metaphysics. This is the key to scientific prayer, which is what unity prayer is. What we experience always depends on where we are in thought and in consciousness, in feeling and in self-awareness. When our thoughts are centered in truth, we will be led toward wholeness in mind, body, and affairs. Jesus said, I came not to send peace, but a sword. I didn't come to love you to complacency, to tell you how lovely and wonderful and sweet everything is, but to help you understand the truth and know the truth and to find release through the truth. So I don't know about you, but sometimes the truth, knowing the truth and telling the truth is hard, but it's always loving. This is fundamental. We are where we are because of what we are consciousness, because of what we are in consciousness and what we are thinking. When we are willing to take responsibility for our thoughts and the patterns that go on in our subconscious mind, we can and will change our consciousness and change our lives and change our experiences and change our world. Knowing the truth keeps us in tune with the dynamic upward swing of life. In Matthew 6:31-33, Jesus says, take no thought of what ye shall eat and what ye shall drink, but seek first the kingdom of God, and all things shall be added. Seek the kingdom, go within, ask for guidance, and everything will take care of itself. Only be concerned with being led by the light within you, the God within you. Then these thoughts become things. So remember, prayer gets us ready to receive. Denials and affirmations are also creating frequencies of thought which will create the things that we desire. Every word we speak is a seed. Every thought we think is a prayer and is shaping our reality. Life is always listening and giving us what we are asking. So what are you asking and what are you declaring? We are limitless creatures in spirit, but we can manifest in our lives only that much of our limitlessness we can accept in our consciousness. Ask me to say that a few times fast. I'll say it again. We are limitless creatures of spirit, but we can manifest in our lives only that much of the limitlessness we can accept in our consciousness. So God can only do for us what could be done through us. So the prayer is about opening our consciousness. God does not perform miracles. God is the miracle that can be released through us if or when we expand our consciousness to accept it. God works through our participation. We have been given everything in the universe as divine mind. So be mindful of your thoughts and beliefs. Use prayer to get into the Christ consciousness. Become open and receptive to our good, and feel gratitude for the good that is here now. I say thank you. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your compassion. Thank you for your empathy. I see you. I appreciate you. I love you. And until we meet again, know that you are blessed and a blessing.